So we're back in the shed, and in this one I'm going to be relocating my gauge onto my forks using the Joker machine gauge relocation mount. The reason why I want to relocate this is because I really hate the side profile, and I don't know why, but my brain sees it as looking like a big old rhino horn on there. Yep, once you see it, you can't unsee it. I know my brain works in weird ways, but whatever. So if you've been following my whole chopper style build on my Sportster 72, you'll see that I'm trying to go with a real minimalistic styling to this bike, because that's what choppers are. They're real simple in styling. And if you look at any chopper, you'll see that the bars don't have wires hanging off the side. They don't have big indicators on them, massive mirrors hanging off the side of them. They certainly don't have a big old gauge right in front, taking away from the side profile of the bike. So let's take this off the bars and relocate it. So the first thing I need to do is prop the tank up by removing that mounting bolt at the front, so I can access the wiring to the speedo to disconnect it, and then I'll be able to take the speedo off. So before I take this off, I'm just gonna open up packaging to the new bar clamp. Just goes on there like so. So I'm just going to rotate the bars forward so when I take this clamp off they don't fall back onto the tank. I'm just going to sit this here and remove this cover just here on the triple trees so I can get the connector through it. Now to apply some Loctite to these threads. Just going to hop back on the bike and check that bar adjustment out. The first thing I need to do is remove the actual speedo. It should just pop off. Now I've just got to remove this rubber seal. Now disconnect this plug. Pop it out, but it really is in there. There we go. Just that seal. They're fairly straight. I think that's all right. Now to remove those screws. So once you've got the speedo removed, what I've done here is just cut the sheathing away from the indicator lights. And the instructions here tell you which factory wiring goes to the Joker machine gauge. So there's going to be no guesswork with the wiring. So what I'm going to do is just reconnect the wiring. I'm not going to do any soldering until this is actually on the bike, because I don't know if I'm going to need to extend these for it to reach the mount. Alrighty, now to install the gauge, what I got to do is remove this Allen head bolt from the clamp. Now the clamp's opened up, install it onto the forks. A lot of Loctite on the thread because I don't want it coming loose. And I think that's pretty good height for it. And that is nice and tight. So as you can see, the wiring is certainly long enough to reach, so I won't need to be adding any wiring for it to reach. So now I'm just going to cut that off, cut these connectors off, and then solder them together. Alrighty, here's a moment of truth. That's good, the neutral light's on, the oil light's on. Now to test the right indicator. Now to test the left indicator. And now the high beam. And as you can see, they all work. So now I'm just going to shrink this heat tape. Now I'm just going to cover it with some underloom tape, which is water resistant stuff. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you may have seen me use this. It's great stuff because it's not like electrical tape which leaves a sticky residue. Alrighty, so that's the gauge relocation done and dusted. I've got to say I much prefer the look of it hanging off the side of the bike as opposed to on the bars. I really think that on the bars it took away from the side profile of the bike. It was big and bulky and it didn't really suit that. Gee, someone's having fun. And it really didn't suit that chopper styling which I'm going for. And I've got to say I much prefer how much tidier the bars look. Now I can work on getting smaller underperch indicators, and I can also get some smaller bar mount mirrors to tidy up those bars and try and achieve that simple chopper look. Now I'm sure there's going to be people out there saying that that's a ridiculous mod and they prefer to have the gauge directly in front of them, but I got to say I can see all the indicator lights and I can clearly see the speedo, so I don't think there's going to be any issues with visibility, but each to their own. Anyway, drop a comment below, let me know what you think of it, but that's going to do it for this one. Thanks very much for watching, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.